and powered by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. Good morning, guys. It's Monday. It's time for some daily dose of Dork. I hope you had a good weekend. Ours was really wet and gray, which was not good for the old arthritis. Because I'm old. See what I did there? I'm old. Good morning to everyone in the chat. Let's go ahead and say good morning to everyone. Good morning, Deranged Lunatic. Good morning, contributing producer, Nerdling First Class Pino. Your name is a mouthful now. It's a mouthful. Good morning, Omari. I don't want to talk about it. It's too soon, Omari. I don't want to talk about the Righteous Gemstones ending yet. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning, Maria. I love ya. Good morning, Taco Cat. Good morning, everyone. I did have some cool stuff happen this weekend. Like, one of you guys, one of the subscribers, Patricia, sent me this. I don't know if you can see it. It's a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge cookbook. Not kidding. I'm gonna have to, like, I think, is that Spotchka? Oh, man. No, it's not. But it's pretty cool. I can't wait to check it out. Good morning, Penny! Good morning! We're going to have to check this out. There's some fancy schmancy stuff in this. So it's going to take like a special trip to the grocery store to get some of the ingredients for this. But I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you so much, Patricia. I absolutely love it. My daughter and I were kind of flipping through it the other day. And big pat on the back to my Ewok baby, my pup, Mr. Tiny Tot. We've got the chickens kind of cleaning the yard right now, because one of the benefits of chickens is they keep your yard free of mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas and stuff. And apparently one of them wandered up to the front yard, and Tiny started yelling to be let out. We let him out, and he seriously corralled, he herded that chicken back to the chicken area of the property. I'm so proud of that little Shih Tzu. He did such a good job. Yay, Tiny! Herding chickens. He is a chicken farm dog now. You guys don't care. Why am I telling you? Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more nerdy stuff. That's right, Kino. Tiny is a true chicken jockey. Don't tell Generation Alpha or Z or whoever they are that does that. I don't know. I'm old. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. We got a few things to get into today. Nothing too serious. But we're going to get into it. Got some good stuff. Oh, that's great, Penny. I really wish that I had video or pictures of it, but I was in here setting up for the stream. But he most certainly did run in here and tell me all about it. He's like, Mom, I did good. Can I have cheese now? Thank you. Yep, good job. So, crazy stuff. All right, let's get into it. There's a YouTuber I listen to that allows his chickens to wander around. What is the name? Because Dave watches him. And that's why he wants to just let the chickens wander around the yard. Is because of that guy right there. I promise you. And I'm not entirely sold. Okay. Like, I let them out a little bit, but as you know, there are issues with neighbors who don't keep their dogs on their property, don't watch them at all. And in fact, one of those dogs showed up on my property again yesterday and was literally stalking my chickens, like getting low to the ground and circling them. My inner Karen made a house call on that one. That's right. Made a house call. And let's just say that they don't want to see me again. If they see me again, I'm making a delivery, and it's not a pleasant one. I'm not that nice. Okay. I'm just not. Dixie Cryptic. That's it. That's who Dave watches. Oh, and that dog knew. Here's the crazy thing is when I got in my car and drove down the street, because unfortunately I can't walk that far anymore, especially on rainy days. That dog saw me and followed me down to his house and snarled and encircled me while I rang the doorbell. I'm not trying to break in or do anything crazy. I'm just a neighbor ringing the doorbell, and this dog was 100% threatening me because he knew I was telling on him. Why am I laughing? Because it's really not funny. It was rather terrifying, but no one can mean mug like me. Yeah, it does. It does. And its name is Bandit, and he's a little bastard. So, all right, you guys don't care about my chicken woes. You don't. What you care about are our nerdy headlines for the last weekend. We've got some first looks at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein starring Oscar Isaac. And big thanks to contributing producer Kino for finding these headlines for me. As we were saying, this weekend was very rainy, lots of stressful barometric pressure, which is not good on my conditions, my disability. So I was definitely in my pain hut this weekend, but Kino helped me out big time by finding these stories for me. So thank you so much. And I'm going to tell you something. You're absolutely right, deranged lunatic. Absolutely right. So Oscar Isaac looks good here. That looks really good, right? I'm looking forward to it. I like Guillermo del Toro. I like his films. He's definitely got a texture, his own flavor and style. Looking forward to that. Let's we've got some more shots on IMDb. So we're going to take this one down and pull up another one. He is playing Dr. Frankenstein Loki. Good morning, Loki! Let me see if you guys can see these. Good morning! Or the modern day Prometheus. I thought it was Meg. Was it Meg or Mags? It was Meg. It was Wonder Meg. Shout out to Wonder Meg. Okay, so here's some behind the scenes. Like the set. There's the actual monster here on the left. The modern Prometheus right here. Oh, look how grotesque the lab is. And he's got things on blocks of ice. I love the attention to detail here. I mean, not surprised whatsoever. Not surprised at all. Del Toro's got a really good eye for detail. And there's Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein again. Some behind the scenes cast. Nice. I love Charles Dance. How could you not love Charles Dance? Tywin Lannister, if you're nasty. First time I saw him was in Last Action Hero. He was the bad guy. 180, you idiot. If he'd done a 360, he would have been back where you started. I love him. Christoph Waltz, Mia Goth. This is a great cast. Oh, No, don't use bare minerals. There's some Mia Goth behind the scenes. Oh, nice. Really, really love the attention to look at this. Bachman's Apothecary. Try our new remedies and elixirs. I was just building an apothecary in my Sims game because that is how I procrastinate. I play the stupid Sims. I do it to relax and kind of stroke my creativity, so to speak. That's what I tell myself. So I really like the attention to detail. This does look very much like Victoria England. Look at the pants. This looks great. What do you guys think? Is anyone else looking forward to Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Okay. Kino is excited for it. Dope. So am I. My nose is really itchy. I'm sorry. Okay. Good morning, Sergeant Giratina. Revenge of the Sith did great on its re-release. It sure did. I think it was. I think it was Loki. I think it was set in London. I don't remember. It's been like a bajillion. I read Frankenstein when I was a kid, and that was a very long time ago. Very long time ago. All right, let's finish up these headlines and talk about Revenge of the Sith. How about that? Okay, so we're gonna do this. It's the first you've heard of it, honey? I guess I haven't talked about it much, huh? That's my bad. I have let you down, Penny. I've let you down. Okay, so next on the list, let's talk about Buffy for a hot second. Just a hot second. I don't want to like lean into it too much because we got a lot of stuff to go on. Fernando says, kind of a lot of Frankenstein movies fail for some reason. I think because a lot of the times they lose the plot about it and they try to stray too far from what Mary Shelley originally intended. That's just my opinion, though, and it could very well be incorrect. Okay, so I've really got to scratch my nose. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's better. Loki says it was actually set in Switzerland and Bavaria. I know no one cares, but I'm a nerd about this. I do appreciate how much you appreciate source material and authors. And if my book was better than it is, I'd say I would love you to read my book. I would really like someone to read the dadgum comic script, though, on Patreon and then give me feedback. I really need that. I need the feedback so I can keep going. I can't keep going if I have no feedback. So somebody, for the love of God, pay attention to me. Okay. So Daniel RPK is saying that Buffy Summers will reportedly work for an insurance company in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel series. Why? Why on earth would Buffy work for an insurance company in the sequel series? It doesn't make any sense. And that's, look, season 8 continued in the comics, and she was traveling the world as the leader of this huge Slayer army. Okay, so why, if she's the head of this huge organization, they're basically the new Watchers, why would she work for an insurance company? It doesn't make any sense. I'm losing steam on this Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival sequel series. They started to lose me with the news that it's based on a new Slayer by the name of Nova who lives with their single dad. Like, is it Nova the Vampire Slayer or is it Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Because I can tell you right now, as someone who's been a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer since the movie with Kirsty Swanson came out in 92, and it was like the first thing that I decided I wanted to know I wanted to be an expert on. Every single fan who has watched the show since the 90s will tell you, if we want a Buffy the Vampire Slayer sequel series, we want it about Buffy. We want it about Buffy. Otherwise, it's a spin-off or a reboot. We don't want that. We want Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the elder stateswoman, leader of this giant Slayer army, taking out the big bads again. That's what we want. We don't want Buffy the insurance adjuster. Like, nobody. Yeah, Maria. What does Buffy have to do with an insurance company? Exactly. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning. So, yeah. In the comics, she's traveling the world. And even in Angel, the spinoff series Angel, like in the last season, him and Spike go to Rome to warn Buffy about the Immortal, who turns out she's dating him. Sorry, I'm wearing like this giant Carhartt shirt that fits me like a dress. It's my boyfriend's, and it's way too big on him too. Yeah, we don't want insurance claims adjuster Buffy who pops in every great once in a while and have this series centered around someone we don't know by the name of Nova. Like, that completely misses the point of a sequel. Can we get the crew of this film a dictionary? I don't know who Wicked Virtue is, but I'm down. Thank you, DL. Thank you. Buffy the Allstate agent. What are you wearing, Buffy from State Farm? Something trendy and a messenger bag filled with wooden stakes. No, I'm not funny, okay? And I don't know what I'm talking about. Just so you guys know. Fernando, these filmmakers always trying to reinvent the wheel with these already established properties. Exactly. Listen, there is not much. No, that's not true. I will rage about a few things. But things that will get me really, really upset, and you may already know this by my scathing reviews, but messing with Anne Rice's work and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. AMC should write apology letters to literally everyone in Christendom over what they've done. If I ever actually sit my butt down and go through this footage and actually edit the Maria Sandoval interview, she 1,000% agreed with me. Devastating what they've done to Anne Rice's stories. And if I wasn't such a spaz, she and I probably would have hit it off a lot better. I was a total spaz, amateur, terrible at that interview. And that's why I'm so scared to go through the footage. Because I'm just going to sit there and cringe the entire time. Like, what were you thinking? I was thinking I was so nervous, and it took me like a year to get this interview. And I was so nervous and anxious that I just pooped the bed. Kino says, guess they didn't want Louis to be a slave owner, yet it's perfectly okay with him being a pimp. What they did to Louis they just made a whole new character. They should have gave him a new name. They should have changed the names to everything. Because Louis was a 23-year-old plantation owner who had lost his wife and child in childbirth and loses his mind to grief and tries to kill himself. And they changed that entirely. And that I couldn't make it past that. Turned it off. Now I have watched the entirety of the Mayfair Witches. And I think I've done it just so I can complain about it appropriately, because they basically ripped out the contents of why can't I say words? The Witching Hour, which is one of my all-time favorite books. Ripped out the contents, wiped their butts with it, wadded it up, stuffed it back in the cover, and they're like, put it on screen, it's done. Like, completely missed the point. And when you watch these behind the scenes interviews after the episode with the actors, with Jack Houston and Alexandra Daddario, it just makes me so mad. Like, I know you have to promote the show, but God, you're dumb. Like, rage, white hot rage over AMC, what they've done with Anne Rice. And they call it Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches. The hell it is. Take her name off of that. Take her name off of it, because it's not. You've changed it 1000%. Everything about it is wrong. Everything. Absolutely everything. Okay. See what you've done, Kino? You've got me off on a tangent. Got me off on a tangent. All right, moving on. So there is word going around that they're done shooting Voltron. And I'm not going to say who is saying it, because he's a D-bag. And he doesn't deserve any more attention brought to him. But according to IMDb here, they're still filming. They may be done with principal photography, but this thing is still in production. And it stars our dude, Henry Cavill, Sterling K. Brown, St. Louis native, Rita Ora, Alba Batista, Nathan Jones, John Kim, Laura Gordon, Tim Griffin, Samson Kayo, Daniel Quintoy, Roberto Zenka, Keanu Karim. There's a new Keanu? What? Tharanya. I bet he's named after Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's not even Hawaiian. Matthew Scully and Kevin Spink. I recognize like 4 of those names. But being a Gen Xer, or I'm more like a Xennial. I'm like the youngest Gen Xer, but oldest millennial. It's super weird. Anyway. You didn't know they're doing a live action Voltron? Dude, I've mentioned this a few times. Like, especially when the Snyder Bros get really hard on Henry Cavill's supposed to be playing Superman. First of all, he's getting older. Okay. He's like my age. All right. And he's got a baby. He's moved on. And I'll mention that not only is he doing a Warhammer series, which is his central geekdom, but he's also doing a Voltron movie. He's living his best life. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's doing great. So yeah, they're probably done with principal photography on this, but it's most definitely still in production. Again, as a member of the Gen X and millennial families, Voltron was a huge part of my childhood. It was a huge part of my Saturday morning cartoon lineup. You had Voltron, G.I. Joe, and Jem. That's right. Jem was outrageous, truly, truly outrageous. Anyway, very, very excited to hear of a Voltron film, and we've got Henry Cavill in it. Highlander, that was confirmed. Good morning, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. Good morning. So, anyone else like on board for a Voltron live action film? Tell me in the chat below. Like, this has never been done. No one's ever adapted this before, so I'm very interested. Very interested. Fernando, let's hope the Voltron Force didn't begin as insurance agents. Oh, they're Buffy's supervisors. But looking forward to it. I don't have a lot of information on it yet. It just says to combat an alien invasion, a special combining robot is created with an elite squad to pilot it. So the very basic synopsis of what Voltron is. So they're filming on the Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. Nice. Australia. All right. Moving on. Let's do this real quick and then we'll get into some DC and stuff. How about that? Not very good at that, am I? Okay. So there's some new Ghostbusters Day details for you ghost heads out here. And this is coming from the ghostbustersnews.com official website. So a lot of stuff going on, apparently. The Ghostbusters Day celebration returns this June 7th on a Saturday. And it's a new fundraising initiative tied directly to Ecto owners. This year, fans and franchises can submit their themed vehicles with their entrant who raises the most money for the charity drive, earning the final available parking spot at the event. Did I read that weird? Probably. Fundraising tied to the Ecto contest runs through May 23rd, allowing participants to submit their Ecto for potential feature on the Better World fundraising page. In addition to the prime parking spot, the winner will also receive a Trick or Treat Studios Ghostbusters parking sign thanks to an anonymous donor. Most importantly, all funds raised will contribute to the overall effort benefiting this year's charity partner, the Thomas R. Elsasser. Someone tell me how to pronounce it. Elsasser Fund, which supports the families of New York firefighters who have died in non-line of duty circumstances. Okay. Also returning is a fan favorite activity, the New York City Ghostbusters Walking Tour. For the third straight year, fans can join officially licensed tour guides for a stroll through franchise filming locations after the day's main festivities. The tour will depart from Hook and Ladder 8 between 3 p.m. and 3:30, giving everyone plenty of time to enjoy the full Ghostbusters Day experience before setting off to explore the cinematic landmarks of New York City. For fans who cannot make it to New York City, there are still ways to get involved. WhoYouGonnaCall.org, the online Ghostbusters franchise database, has launched a special Ghostbusters Day page where franchises can list local events, making it easier for fans everywhere to join the celebration. Even more exciting, the team behind the site has announced the first ever Ghostbusters Day zine, a physical publication that will be distributed free of charge during the Hook and Ladder 8 festivities. Franchises and businesses can purchase limited ad space in the zine, with any ad revenue exceeding printing costs being donated back to the fundraiser. With Ghostbusters Day now less than 2 months away, expect even more updates in the coming weeks. Be sure to follow the Buffalo Ghostbusters for the latest announcements and keep it locked to Ghostbusters News for full coverage of the year celebration, from the guest list to the exclusive merch reveals and a checklist of which Ectomobiles will be making the trip to Hook and Ladder 8. As a reminder, ahead of the big day, fans and followers can show their support by donating now, benefiting the Thomas R. Elsasser Fund. Elsasser. But I can't pronounce that name. Elsasser. But anyway, any ghost heads? Any ghost heads in the chat? Fernando, Ghostbusters is my top 5 favorite comedy films ever. Loki coming in with another hot take. Super hot take, he says. Ghostbusters should have only been one movie. Didn't need to be a franchise. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong, Loki. I love Ghostbusters 1. I love Ghostbusters 2. And I have enjoyed Frozen Empire. I said what I said. I said what I said. But anyone participating at all in the Ghostbusters Day event? Nicole, I'm adding Ghost Head to my resume. There you go. That's how it's done, sis. That's how it's done. All right. More news. Let's pull it up here. Where did it go? Got it. So, pulling up. We're going to talk about another name I struggle to pronounce, but you guys aren't here for my ability to pronounce things, right? Maria says, I agree 100% Ghostbusters 2 was trash. The pink slime was dumb. No! No, Maria, no! Maria, no! I'm going to do a Piper, no. Maria, no! I love the pink slime. I love Jackie Wilson too. It made a toaster dance to Jackie Wilson. It made the Statue of Liberty walk. And you got Vigo, the Carpathian. Okay. So, Adria Arjona from Andor comments if James Gunn wants her as the DCU Wonder Woman. She says, he gave me my first movie ever, my first studio movie. So I owe him a lot. I love James Gunn. I don't know. She might be Wonder Woman. She might have been cast as Wonder Woman. But I do agree with you, Loki. Loki says not even close to being Greek. Gal was closer. I would love to see a statuesque, black-haired, blue-eyed Greek Wonder Woman. I would love to see that. But if we can't have that, I mean, Adria Arjona looks pretty close. And she's a good actress. Maria says she would be a great Wonder Woman. I agree. If we can't have the perfect match, I mean, if Alexandra Daddario, I can't pronounce her name either. If she wasn't such a terrible actress, she's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look. She's got the look for it, but she can't act. She sure can't. You did send me an article, and I'm trying to find it. But, what the heck, man? Why am I not seeing it? Weird. Weird. Ugh. That is not what I wanted to hit at all. Can we get out of my privacy? Stupid Twitter. Down, boy. Yeah. I mean, Fernando, Alexandra is just eye candy. It's just eye candy. We don't need to get into the whole article, though. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. We're spending too long on it anyway, I think. We got other important stuff to talk about, right, kids? Right. All right. So, let's pull up one of our title things. Ta-da! Ooh, Eva Green? Yeah, if you get some muscles on Eva Green, I could see that. Ah, I already had it pulled up. Ha! Look at that. I already had it pulled up. How funny is that? I was already prepared. So, but that was basically the gist. That was basically the gist of the article, that she's just kind of skirting the subject. She doesn't really answer in the affirmative or the negative. She just says, like, I owe him a lot, so I do it if he asked. So that's kind of a yes to me. I think she's cast as Wonder Woman. I do. I do. All right. So let's get this show on the road. Bloop. If I even can. Am I even capable of doing this stuff? No. The answer is no. I'm not. Okay. So, remember we talked a while back about Schuster's nephew or something, or grandson, suing James Gunn because it's been 25 years since Schuster died, and how things work in British law, in British copyright law. If the original copyright owner dies 25 years after his death, the copyrights, the licensing rights, everything reverts back to the deceased's estate. So they're in charge of it. Well, DC owns all the rights to Superman in the States. Okay. Schuster and Siegel sold it years ago. Years and years and years ago. Well, they're getting ready to release this new Superman movie, so his great nephew says, "Hold up, wait a minute. You can't release this movie in any country that uses traditional British legal system without my permission, without the estate's permission." So he sued DC to get more money out of them. Basically, they were like, "Are you serious? We already settled this." So they took it to court. They already went through it. This could have, I mean, technically, legally speaking, it could have halted the release of James Gunn's Superman movie in any country that practices traditional British legal system. So, it wants me to subscribe to Bloomberg. But a federal judge in Great Britain on Thursday completely rejected it. He rejected the estate from reclaiming foreign copyrights and blocking the new superheroes film's release, citing lack of jurisdiction over the case. And he's 1,000% right. He's right. Judge Jesse M. Furman dismissed Warren Peary's lawsuit against DC Comics and Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. and denied his request for preliminary injunction to block the movie's July 11th receipt as moot, according to an order issued in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Yeah, he is the nephew. So, he's the nephew of co-creator Schuster, Warren Peary, but the courts told him this is kind of a U.S. issue. It's kind of a U.S. issue. The creators were U.S. citizens. The people they sold it to were U.S. citizens. You're kind of being ridiculous right now. So if you want more money, go talk to DC. but why are you bothering us with it? We have no jurisdiction over this. So, yep, Superman is going to enter the public domain in about a year and a half. He will be 100 years old. No, not a year and a half. What's wrong with me? 8 years. About 8 years, Superman enters public domain. And I guess we will cross that bridge when we come to it, because that will be, I mean, he is the first real superhero, and that'll be the first time a superhero has entered public domain. So that's going to be interesting times. Interesting times. Fernando says, I'm sick of these people trying to sabotage the Superman family or not. Loki, it's not truth, justice in the English way. So yeah, there's nothing stopping it from releasing worldwide on July 11th now. Absolutely nothing. Not that, again, they didn't really have a strong case. There was, I mean, I guess precedent somewhere for it. It's just a mess. But I told you it wasn't going to go far. It wasn't going to go far at all. So that's over and done with, and Superman can now release worldwide. Maria says, that means when it hits public domain, we're going to get Superman horror movies. I know. What is the obsession with that? The horror Winnie the Pooh and Steamboat Willie and Bambi. It's just, why are we doing that? Why? It doesn't make sense. Deranged lunatic, if he wants a British Superman, he should just go after Captain Britain. I don't think it was wanting a British Superman. I think it was just him trying to get more money for it, is what it was. He was just trying to find a way to get more money out of Warner Brothers Discovery and DC, which I'm here to tell you that it's no secret that DC has not been kind to its IP creators since its inception. I mean, the comic book industry, the industry itself was founded by the mob and porn. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's a true story. But what they did to Batman's actual creator, Bill Finger, is just a shame. It's pathetic and a shame. And his granddaughter is actually working her tail off to try and get him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Bob Kane's got one. Batman's got one. Why doesn't Bill Finger have one? Riddle me that. It's a way to say F you to the big studios. Oh, and they did a Popeye one too. So dumb. I actually live, I had lipstick down here. You guys are supposed to tell me when that happens. I actually live just a few miles from the hometown of Popeye, or where his creator is from. And they've got, it's kind of like Metropolis, Illinois has that big Superman. You know, the whole town is like Superman themed. Chester, Illinois is Popeye themed. So that's not far from where I live. Anywho, so there's that. There's that. And also, there is a clip we have of SKYLAR GISONDO, who is playing Jimmy Olsen in James Gunn's Superman film. He's also Gideon on The Righteous Gemstones. Oh my God, I love this kid. And this is some of the best casting I've seen for a superhero movie. I mean, SKYLAR GISONDO playing Jimmy Olsen is like Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark. This kid is Jimmy Olsen, 100%. So we've got this clip
Jimmy
of him talking about playing Jimmy Olsen and that dynamic that Jimmy has between Clark Kent and Superman, and how he came about it, I guess. So here we go.
Jimmy, in the movie, we really are just like Dave and I got the opportunity to hang out a bit before we started filming and kind of just became like easy friends. And our scenes are very like the little stuff we have
Mechanically,
together. We
yes.
really are just kind of like buddies, and there's a real sort of ease to it. And it's kind of like I feel like an opportunity to see like the human like side of Superman. And so maybe with David, just also the chance to David's so yoked in this movie. He's huge in this movie, right? And I feel like I
He's
gave him
so
the
yoked.
opportunity to feel like talking to another dude of similar body.
Obviously,
course.
yeah.
He gets to relax because
Yeah.
very rarely does he meet someone where he's like, this dude also lifts
jacked,
and gets
yeah.
it and is jacked. And so we could kind of bro down on the level
Yeah.
in that way.
I definitely get that bro
Yeah.
vibe.
I
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
Bro
mugs.
down.
Yeah.
Share like workout tips.
A lot of
Yeah.
workout. Yeah.
Yeah.
More. Yeah.
See, he's such a nerd, and that's Jimmy Olsen. I'm really looking forward to seeing him as Jimmy. She is pretty. She's pretty. I'm really looking forward to him as Jimmy on screen. So great casting, in my opinion, on Jimmy Olsen. Good job, James Gunn. And Mama needs one of those mugs. Yes, Mama do. Yes, Mama do. All right, guys. It's time to talk some Star Wars. IGN. Hold on, because I know I've got an article somewhere on this. So I'm going to take this down for a second. So I don't have to show my DMs again on accident. Good thing they're all business. Let's see. There we go. Now I've got an article. And I don't. So I'm going to pull one up. Revenge of the Sith re-release. Okay. Alrighty. Found one. I already got it, Kino. Thank you, bud. So we've got a Collider article here. This is insane. I mean, not really insane, but Star Wars Revenge of the Sith gets re-released on its is it 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary? I think it's 20th anniversary. It gets re-released in theaters and apparently crushes the competition with record-setting re-release haul at domestic box office. Would it make like $60-something million on a re-release? So here's the article. Here's everything that Collider has to offer us on this. If last year was any indication, there's a huge audience for re-releases, especially of those films that were aimed directly at a millennial audience. The theory is being proven true yet again with Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, melting records in celebration of its 20th anniversary. The movie was relaunched in theaters this week, where it exceeded all expectations and outperformed brand new releases. The Accountant 2, starring Ben Affleck, included. It also grossed around twice as much as Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, did in its own reopening weekend last year. That's because Revenge of the Sith is the best of the series. Just saying. Revenge of the Sith has now passed the 400 million mark at the domestic box office, thanks to the 25 million that it made this weekend. The movie made an additional 17 million from overseas territories for a cumulative re-release debut of 42 million. Globally, the film's total haul is nearly at the $900 million mark. Revenge of the Sith marked the end of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, whose legacy remains as tricky as ever. The trilogy has its fans, but is largely considered to be inferior to the original 3 movies. Duh. Nothing's ever going to be better than the originator. I'm just sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm just not. That being said, Revenge of the Sith earned better reviews than both its predecessors, The Phantom Menace and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It currently holds a certified fresh at 79% rating on the aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, as compared to the 61% score of the second film and 54% of the first. The franchise was re-relaunched a decade ago by J.J. Abrams with Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Revenge of the Sith marked franchise creator George Lucas's final film in the director's chair. It concluded the origin story of the villainous Darth Vader, or as he was then known, Anakin Skywalker. The movie's re-release haul is the biggest since the $30 million that The Lion King generated in its reopening weekend in 2011. It's also higher than the 17 million and 10 million that James Cameron's Titanic and Avatar made in their respective reopenings, and above the 22 million that Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back grossed in its first weekend back in 1997. The most successful re-release of all time remains Titanic, which made 350 million worldwide in 2012. More recently, Coraline and Interstellar were both able to gross over 50 million apiece in their respective reissues. You can watch Revenge of the Sith in theaters and stay tuned here, not Collider. You come here to Comic Stand for more. Have any of you gone to see it in theater? Have you? Taco Cat says, I saw it 20 years ago in Texas. I saw it 20 years ago in Hawaii, in the Mililani movie complex. Omari. The prequels still have a lot of problems, but it's nice to see audience turnout 20 years later. It's about time Hayden got his flowers. That poor guy. Y'all, a bunch of you may not be old enough to remember how horribly Hayden Christensen was ripped apart as Anakin, and not just being burned by lava at Mustafar. Hayden Christensen caught a bunch of shit. Fans hated him and that poor kid. They hated the Anakin actors big time. Sis says, I saw it in the theater in Jacksonville. I might go see it tomorrow before it leaves my local theater. Good idea. Loki says, Backyard TARDIS, the things you like and dislike are crazy. Dude, Ro and I say all the time, Backyard TARDIS is a wild card. He's a wild card. I knew, okay, yeah, he got ripped apart by the media, absolutely. But I knew actual Star Wars fans who didn't care for him, personally. Oh my goodness. Backyard TARDIS, I don't know how I feel about this. LOL. I'm glad fans are enjoying it, but I don't like Revenge of the Sith. When I saw it the first time, I walked out mid-movie and got my money back. Shut up. Did you really? That's crazy. Kino is going to see it today. Fernando says, old school non-Disney movies, still king. Omari, nah, plenty of fans dislike the Anakin actors, Loki. Same with Jar Jar Binks. Agreed. They got a lot of hate. It's very nice to see them getting some love and attention now. Fernando, Hayden hate was unfair, but the kid was trash. Oh my God. That poor kid hit the nose. That poor kid. And it destroyed his life. All the threats he got. Oh my God. They had just gotten internet and there were lots of forums. I'm telling you, you need to do a Google search. Do a Google search because they were quite vocal. I love the name. Okay, so the name Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not. I do have some serious diehard geeks in my chat. But the original name for Return of the Jedi was Revenge of the Jedi. But then George was like, but that doesn't really make sense because the Jedi don't really believe in revenge. So he tossed it aside and changed it to Return of the Jedi. So when he did this one, he was like, oh, no, I can use the Revenge of. I can use that now. That always sticks in my head every time I see Revenge of the Sith. But man, Duel of the Fates. You were my brother. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. I'm going to have to watch it today. I probably won't get to go see it in the theater, but probably going to have to watch Revenge of the Sith today. And the ad with Hayden Christensen promoting it with his little Darth Vader cup. It was really good. Really good. Deranged Lunatic, if you could have got some of that Revenge of the Jedi merchandise, you would have quite the collector's item. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Oh, you're right. Battle of Heroes. Sorry. I've had one cup of coffee and now I'm drinking body armor. But you're absolutely right. I keep telling you guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ever. I hard agree, Maria. Hard agree. Revenge of the Sith was the best out of the prequels. Excuse me. I completely swallowed my drink. Yes. I love it. Battle of the Heroes. Great scene. Great music. Can never go wrong with John Williams. And I mean, I've got my issues with it. Like, Padme, you giant weenie. She's given up the will to live. You have 2 children on the way. You're telling me that's not enough for you to want to live? That wasn't enough? You're breaking my heart, Anakin. Yeah, be brokenhearted, but you still got 2 babies coming out of you that are going to need a mom. God, Padme. Selfish much? Anyway, still love the movie. Not as much as the originals, and I never will love anything more than the originals. Omari, I didn't know mothers could think up of 2 names for 2 kids right before she dies. Well, look, she's probably been thinking about it for quite some time. I had notebooks, okay? Notebooks of names. When I was pregnant with my daughter, Emma, I printed out a stack like this. It was highlight and stuff for months. Deranged Lunatic. She said, sorry, kids, you're on your own. Maria says, I think Mando is going to crush it. There's a lot of people that are really excited for Mandalorian and Grogu, and Backyard TARDIS is one of them. I have my concerns. Ooh, my mouse just started acting crazy. Backyard TARDIS says, maybe Padme was given a force vision of Luke on Exegol. Yeah, that might be reason enough. Like, oh no. Well, that's also what was going to happen to Luke if she died. Like, maybe that should have been reason enough for her to live to prevent that from happening. You know, she went rogue before Rogue One. Maria, I never understood the losing the will to live over a broken heart. George Lucas could have written better. Yeah, he got a lot of criticism for some of the writing, for a lot of the writing, a lot of the heavy dialogue and the kind of clunky. I hate sand. It's everywhere. I think now, because they were not received all that well 20 something years ago. They weren't. I was alive then. I remember. Okay. I was old enough to be having children. I remember. They were not received that well. And I think now it's a lot of nostalgia. It's like, oh, remember this time? Compared to some of the stuff that's come out today, these aren't so bad. Nicole, you have Neil. I love my Grogu. I love Neil too. I hope the Mando and Grogu movie turns out well. I do. I hope it does. I have concerns, but I do hope it turns out well. And Neil is my son. Neil is my son. I do have my Grogu painting back here. Shout out Tabitha. Deranged lunatic. I don't like anything that has Pedro Pascal. The guy just gives me the yuck. That's not what he gives me. Nicole says, I may not personally like Pedro, but I still like The Mandalorian. And remember, it's cousin Brendan Wayne who's in the suit. It's not really Pedro. Pedro just does the voice. Every once in a while he shows up, takes off a helmet, but that's it. That's it. But this is proving a point. Revenge of the Sith doing so well in theaters is proving a point. People still love Star Wars. They still love it. They just don't entirely love everything Disney has done with it. They should definitely be taking that information away from this when looking at these numbers. Omari, it would be nice to get the original unaltered trilogy re-released on something that's not Laserdisc. Boy, you are telling me. Have I told you the story about my mom and the original trilogy on VHS? I know I've told some of you. So when I was a kid, we had the original trilogy on Laserdisc and VHS. We had it on VHS. Watched it all the time. 97 comes around. They release the special editions. My mom buys those too. My mom was a huge Star Wars nerd. So I used to brag about it, like, oh, we've got the original trilogy on VHS. So I go to my mom's like a year or two ago, and I'm looking all over on her shelf. Like I see the special editions trilogy, but I don't see the original. My mom, where's the original trilogy? And she said, well, I didn't need him anymore. I'm sorry. What the did you just say to me? She's like, I didn't need him anymore. I donated him to a nursing home. I'm going to need the name and address of that nursing home because I'm about to donate your ass. Like, what is wrong? Why did you do that? You cannot get those anymore. Just A New Hope on VH, just the one tape goes for like $35,000. Like, are you insane? I don't like the new music at the end of Return of the Jedi. I don't like it. It's not the same. It doesn't hit the same. Let me see if I actually have it here, but I prefer Yub Nub. I like the Yub Nub song. It just feels better. It feels right. It's more joyful and celebratory. Here we go. Here we go. It's just so much more celebratory than the like this music is so much better. It makes so much more sense. And my mom just gave it away. Just gave it away. Unacceptable. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So give me Yub Nub back. Give it to me now. Well, it's not the fact that it's a VHS tape. It's the fact that it's the original release of Star Wars. Because once the special editions came out, George Lucas put the kibosh on anything else. He basically had the rest destroyed. He's like, I don't want anyone else seeing the other ones. They see this one now. That's it. You can't get them anywhere at all, ever. So I will burn that place to the ground, DL. I will burn that nursing home to the ground. That's where my mama is going to live. She liked it so much to donate those tapes. I'm going to donate her ass to it too. She can go stay with them. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts about any of our topics today, including Revenge of the Sith re-release, doing amazing, drop it in the chat below because we're wrapping things up. Maria, why are we being denied the Knights of the Old Republic live action movie? Good question, because it's an era we really haven't explored. Acolyte had a huge opportunity, and they just pooped all over it. They could have had an amazing Old Republic or High Republic series, and they didn't. We did. We covered Voltron. Thank you, Kino. Everyone say thank you, Kino. Do me a favor. Before you go anywhere, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more nerdy content. It is the easiest and the freest way to show support for the channel and all the hard work that I try to do and stuff. And now Kino too. Kino's definitely helping with the topics and stuff. If you would like to help support the channel in other ways, thank you. Because I literally cannot do the show without financial support from viewers like you. And the best way to do that is you can scan that QR code right above my head. It'll take you to buymeacoffee.com/comicsandmua, and you can tip me as little or as much as you like. Can't do it right now. Want to do it later? Don't worry about it. All the links are in the description below. And this is just one option where you can help support the channel and keep this show on air. You can also cash at me, $DanielleSoncasie. That's right. Soncasie, not Soncasie, or Sansusi. It's Soncasie. But you do the same thing as much as you like. You can also join the official Nerdling Army by going to patreon.com/comicsand. You get outtakes, behind the scenes, exclusive content, exclusive merch that correlates directly to your chosen tier, which we have 3 of, starting as little as $3 a month. And every 3 months for the first year of your membership, you get your own exclusive merch with your rank and insignia upon it. That's right. You also get access to the exclusive Nerdling Army chat, and you can request breakdowns. I'm almost done writing The Question by DC Comics, requested by Nerdling First Class, Backyard TARDIS, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm really enjoying it, but my goodness, Victor Sage, man. Victor Sage. I'm really enjoying it. I'm also an affiliate for several companies like CorusVault.com/comicsand. Get all your superhero collectibles, everything right here, and save 10% by using my link and using code comicsand at checkout. Similar to shopapotheosis.com/comicsand. Use code comicsand at checkout for 10% off there too. They also have collectibles, but they also have apparel and games and comic books. They have comic book subscription boxes. That's right. They really help out with my research. I'm telling you. So if you use my code comicsand, you'll save 10% off your purchase today. And if you have pup-ups, do you have pup-ups? I have a pup-up. He's a chicken pup now. He's a chicken wrangler. He herds chickens. And I shop for him exclusively at Leash Boss. That's right. I have my own special fancy little link right there. And if you use it, you will save 15% off. Because they love you and your dog. They love your dog. They do. It's a company by dog owners for dog owners. So definitely check that out today. And I'm also a member of the Red 5 Network. This podcast is powered by Red 5. We are a collective of exclusively nerdy content creators and podcasters. And if you enjoy the stuff that I'm putting out here, chances are you're going to enjoy more of what the Red 5 network offers. So go to red5.bio.link today and discover more of the Red 5 family of podcasts today. Maria, we need a Battlestar Galactica reboot movie. I would say it would slay, in my opinion. I love Battlestar Galactica. I love the reboot in the early 2000s. I thought it was awesome. I'd love to see more. Absolutely would love to see more. Revenge of the box office. Mm-hmm. Do you have faith in Starfighter with Ryan Dreamy Eyes? I have faith in Sean Levy. I do. And Ryan Gosling always gives 110%, and he does have dreamy eyes. So, yeah, I'd say I do. I think I have a little bit. So, yeah. How's the movie Sinners doing in the theater? It's only had a 10% drop. That is almost unheard of. For an original movie, it's only had a 10% drop in the last weekend. So it's doing awesome. It's made its money back. It's turned a profit. Go see Sinners. It is the best vampire movie I have seen in decades. It's acted fantastically, directed fantastically. I love the color grading, the lighting. It just screams monstrous vampire to me. And I just think you should go see it. I do. It's a great movie. Go see it. Support your local theaters. Support theaters. Go see this movie. It's really good. Kino says, word of mouth, there would be a sequel. You could easily turn that into a franchise. You could. You really could. But that's all I got for you nerds today. Except for Maria's got one more question. Do you think Sinners will be able to hold off Thunderbolts in the box office? Probably not. I think Thunderbolts is going to do really good. And by the time Thunderbolts comes out, Sinners will have been in theater 3 to 4 weeks. So it's going to drop off more. That's usually what happens. Every weekend it drops off a little bit. So, but that's all I got for you guys today. For Monday, I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. But until then, stay nerdy, babies, and keep an eye out.
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!